Hello, it is Fred and Linda with New Venture New Day with day 16 of our Westward Ho Adventure series. It is with mixed emotions that we present this video. It's a video about a part of our trip we were very much looking forward to, and that's a visit to the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. Having been to the South Rim a couple of times and hearing so much about this, we wanted to go see it. Right now you're looking at the drive up to the North Rim. It was a beautiful drive. We decided to share our experience as a tribute to that historic place on May 29th, 2025, just a month and a half before it was destroyed by a fire on July 12th and 13th. Maybe you've already been there, or maybe you've always wanted to go. For us, it'll help us always remember how much fun we had there and what a beautiful place it was. Here we are approaching the main entrance checkpoint to the park, followed yet by several more miles of scenic drive before you get to the actual park area and visitor center. Please continue on with us now as we recap our visit to the Grand Canyon National Park North Rim. Hello, I am Fred.
And I'm Linda.
The New Venture New Day, back with an update on our Westward Ho travels. We are just leaving the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. It was a wonderful day. We spent about 5 hours here. Saw some neat things. It was a very relaxing day here. We have a lot of highlights and tips to share with you in this video. Put on your hiking shoes. Let's get started. We have arrived at visitor parking. 7:05 a.m. We are parked in the visitor lot, and there is a surprisingly large number of vehicles here already. I don't know if it's people that stayed overnight. The help for the area is just showing up, getting dropped off, and getting organized, so things aren't really rolling here yet. A few minutes ago on the way up, we did a quick stop at a pull-off. It was about 45 degrees, and right now in the park, it is 60 degrees at the edge of the canyon. We are just a few steps away from the visitor center. We're going to head that direction. It appears that many of the cars parked here belong to people who've been staying in these cabins. We're now approaching the North Rim Visitor Center. Much calmer, much easier pace here than yesterday at the Zion National Park. Approaching the Visitor Center, we're greeted with some very useful, informative signs on how to make the best use of our time while here. First time, sunrise, sunset. I've got a whole half a day. I've only got 2 hours. Great idea. We are opting to take the Transept Trail from the North Rim Visitor Center and catch the views on that. It's the shorter and less strenuous of the trails, but it does show you the canyon rim. Before we hit the trail, we're going to check out the Grand Canyon Lodge and get a bite to eat before we head out. We opted for the breakfast buffet, which is very good. We walked into the dining room and were immediately seated at a beautiful window table location overlooking the canyon. The sun just hitting the rocks. So far, we're off to a great start today. Coming from the restaurant, standing in a beautiful lounge area that leads out to the Adirondack chair viewing area. Very famous point, been highly recommended to me by other people. We just stunning views. Very relaxed atmosphere. And of course, no park is complete without a well-stocked gift shop. First jaunt today will be on the Bright Angel Trail. It starts right next to the parking lot here by the Visitor Center Lodge area, and it goes for a quarter mile to the Bright Angel Point, and then we will make our way back to the Visitor Center and head out on the Transept Trail, which follows along the canyon with some spectacular views. It's one of the faster and easier trails. Trail winds behind the cabins and the Visitor Center toward the canyon rim. For a nice easy pace here. A lot of places to sit down in the trees and look out over the canyon. We proceeded to make our way down to Bright Angel Point, walking along the canyon and taking in the various signs that describe what we are looking at, as with the other parks. And also, as with the other parks, there is the growing problem of air pollution and the haze it creates, obscuring the distant view of things, like the canyon wall on the south rim. We had to make a slight detour to work our way down to the Bright Angel observation point. So we continued down the trail. It's a fairly steep trail, but once there, treated to a spectacular view of the canyon walls and a look back at the Great Lodge on the cliff behind us. Next up was the observation point a little further down along the canyon wall for yet another perspective on the views of the canyon. At this point you can see the effects of time and erosion. Regardless, it still provided another fantastic view of the canyon from another angle. And from here, another look back at the Great Lodge up on the cliff. When we first arrived, the visitor center was still not open. Now, heading back to the vehicle to change, we see that it was, so we popped in for a look at some of the historical information there. Again, a beautiful relief map explaining the area. We were provided with yet another souvenir opportunity at the gift shop at the visitor center. Somewhat smaller, but well stocked. It's 9:30 and it's gone from 36 degrees to just about 70, and we had to change into shorts. Right. Got warm in a hurry. Back to the trail.
Motion sickness going on here.
After a quick change, it's on to the Transept Trail. Hopefully, when we get to the end, we can get a view of the south rim from here.
We'll go that way.
Here's another perspective of the lodge buildings and a couple of deer watching what we were doing as we passed by on the trail below. There are a lot fewer amenities and much more in the way of regular hiking here at the North Rim. South Rim, if you've ever been there, notice that it's all paved with a lot of facilities, amenities, and a lot of people. This is very peaceful and close to nature. Being in Canyon Village in the South Rim is to a certain extent like being in a village when you walk around. This is more like being out in the open, out in the country. This trail is quite wooded, so you pass in and out of viewing areas of the canyon, but it does give you a much different perspective of the canyon, and way off in the distance is the South Rim. And we've walked the Transept Trail up to the campground area. That's about 1.2 miles. And we can continue on the Transept Trail and intercept trail up by the road, or we can turn here at the campground and intercept that trail back on the road. After a brief stop at what it turned out to be a very nice little general store for the campground, we're headed to the corner of the parking lot to pick up the trail back to the main lodge along the highway. Now we're back on the bridle path, headed towards the lodge. We're going to take a slight detour across the road to one of the picnic spots. See what we can see. It's a nice gradual path headed back down to the lodge area along the main road leading into the park. past the administration buildings. Remember that everyone who uses these trails counts. Just like that, we are back at the main parking area. Across the road, and we're going to wind our way back to the vehicle. Take off our packs and our heavy stuff, maybe make one more stop at a couple buildings here, and then start driving out and check out the trailhead for the big trail that leads down into the canyon and over to the south rim. And that's we're not doing because that they recommend allowing more than one day for that hike. Day down and a day up. So you need to camp that one down by the river. We're going to take a quick peek at the trailhead for the Kaibab Trail, the one that leads you down into the canyon, about a 2-day hike to the south rim. And there is not much room to park here. Parking along the road right now, the parking lot is full. So we'll just get a glimpse of the start of that trailhead. Give you an idea what it looks like. You can connect with this trail from the main parking lot and the main lodge by following the bridle path the rest of the way up here. Or you can do what we did and try to find a place to park here in the lot. Quite a few hikers here. Quite a few warnings. To the trail. Quite a few what seem to be semi-exhausted people sitting in the staging area. They probably went for a partial hike down the trail. Came back. They didn't seem too heavily equipped. And you can also apparently get a mule ride along this. There were mules staged up at the end of the parking lot. On the way out, we made another little quick stop at this wayside here before the park exit, just to change into our sandals, and it is remarkably cooler here than in the park itself. We just made a stop at a delightful little place called the Jacob Lake Inn at the intersection of Highway 67 and 89A on our way back to Kanab. We drove by this morning early. It was pretty much a ghost town except for a couple of cars, people staying at the hotel they have here. They've got a little diner, a gift shop. They sell cookies, coffee, have a restroom. It's a very nice place, very clean. And it seems to be very, very popular. Next to it is a visitor center over to that end. And I can't see it from this vantage point, but there's a gas station down at the other end. So if you need to fill up your tank, you can do that here too. So if you were in the area, headed to the North Rim, you need to stop. I suggest you give this a try. Welcome back to Utah. I'm Fred.
And I'm Linda.
New venture, new day, and
Start over because that car went through right as we were. Okay, quick.
I'm Fred.
And I'm Linda.
With new venture, new day, with an update on our venture ho.
Westward ho.
I'm Fred.
And I'm Linda.
With new venture. Jeez. Hello again. I'm Fred. Oh, Jesus. That wraps up our visit to the Grand Canyon North Rim. Our plan is to make it back there again someday and do the hike rim to rim, although it will be greatly changed At some point, things will be reconstructed and it'll be back in operation. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and consider subscribing so you can see the rest of our Westward Ho adventure videos as they are released, and hopefully you'll go back and look at the previous ones if you haven't already. The American Southwest is always a great place to visit, and if you can, we recommend you try to do it. Enjoy your travels, and until next time, take care.